clever pun.
Hello and welcome to the Kongversation. I'm Hyle Russell.
And I continue to be Gibbon.
This is a special live episode of the Kongversation. It is DK Vine's Kraken New Year's Eve. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
It's better than the Miley Cyrus Pete Davidson thing, which
Pete Davidson, like Doctor Who actor?
is that what his name is? The weird dude from SNL that everybody sleeps with.
No, this is okay. No.
No, that would be preferable. I would take the fifth Doctor over that weirdo. But anyway,
why is there someone else named Pete Davidson besmirching this good name?
I don't know, but apparently he has massive genitals and
Well, I don't know. Maybe I'll look him up.
No, this is the first time I think we're doing the New Year's forecast like live like this. We are going to be ringing in the new year for Twycross. That's the gimmick. So in about an hour, a little less than an hour, we will be counting down to 2022 in
whether we're ready or not.
In the Midlands of the UK, where Rare and Playtonic are, and where the DKU was born. And continues to be nurtured,
inflicted upon the world.
Okay, you're negative. You're in a mood right now. I know
whether they like it or not.
I know Betty White just died, and we're all a little bummed.
She's just getting into character for Cranky for the Mario movie.
Yeah,
wrinkly, but yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, well, scratch that fan casting off the list.
No, it's method acting. It's fine.
Really quick, I want to give a shout out. We are streaming this on our Twitch channel, dkvine.com/Twitch, or if you prefer, twitch.tv/DKVine. Just give a shout out to everyone I'm seeing right now. Ray Day, Dre, Steve from off of Rare Gamer, among the other luminaries in the chat right now. Jeffrin Perez, another Rare fandom VIP.
Cam is here.
Cameron, yes, everybody's here. So
all the stalwarts.
So anyway, we're gonna have to be keeping a watch on the time because we're gonna be dropping the ball for Rare, but. Isn't it great the arbitrary hype around just setting up a new calendar? It's
the highlight of my day, I'll tell you that.
You know, when I was a kid, I felt like I need to watch the ball dropping because it's a big deal. And then I realized that the societal constructs that are made for us collectively are mostly bullshit, and I don't have to care. And that was a great moment for me. But anyway, this is a tradition. We usually do these on, we release these episodes on New Year's Eve. Last season was the exception because I circumstances. But we like to look ahead at where we, DK Vine, think 2022 will shake out for Donkey Kong, for Rare, and now Playtonic. It's something we've done since the first season of the show. Generally, you know, we're generally right. We just don't get the timing right. We usually feel
right eventually.
Yeah, we usually like say, oh, this will probably come, but things are always off. Things always take longer than we hope. But I think we've got actually a good grip on what the future looks like, and I think 2022 may be.
Do we? Or is there Crisco making us slowly slide off?
Is this sexual?
No, God damn it, Hyle.
Well, people
Get
use
your mind out of the gutter.
People use Crisco for stuff, so I hear.
No, we don't call those persons people.
Wow. All right. I welcome everyone listening right now. If you have to slum it and use Crisco as a lube, then so be it.
Okay.
Welcome to the conversation, my friends. No. I
Uh,
know 2021 was a hard year for a lot of us.
mm,
2020 was a hard year. And so was 2019. And come to think of it, 18, 17, 16.
mm,
But
I don't know. 2021 was both very good to me and also kind of shitty, so I think it evened out.
yeah, I don't want people to give in to despair. And this is the big, like, this is me
Yeah, yeah.
being your big brother Hyle here, your Uncle Hyle of the DKU. I want people to go into the year because it is arbitrary. It's just, another month, another day. It's really meaningless, but it does kind of allow us sometimes to have kind of a fresh outlook, like blank slate, right?
Mm,
All the accumulated nonsense of the past 12 months, we can maybe turn the page on that. And I feel like so many people give into despair these days, where it's just like, well, it's just bad stuff. The bad stuff is going to happen and there's nothing we can do. Well, no, the bad stuff
mm.
doesn't have to happen if we all agree not to let it happen. And I know that's a big ask because the Kongversation and DK Vine audience is comparatively small to make a difference, in the larger societal, global, climate arena. But that being said, I do believe that we can't give in to the glumness because it will defeat us if we do. But there are more good people than there are bad. I truly believe that. And I think if we all agree to, look out for each other and be active and try to make this world a better place, the world we all want to live in, then we'll get there. And we don't have to let the bad people have their way just because they're louder than us and they're bullies. And, no, punch the bullies in the face. And, I like to think of things as what would Donkey Kong do in this situation? And Donkey Kong would punch the bullies in the face. And
goddamn right.
yeah, so let's be more like Donkey Kong. Let's be more like Diddy Kong and Dixie Kong. Let's let the Kongs be our role models for this new year. And maybe we can make that better world that we all want. But I will despair if nobody finds the missing episode of the Kongversation season 6, Gibbon. It is.
Oh, okay, so just Hyle's going to be in despair.
We're going to be starting season 10 in about a month's time.
I should just secretly tell someone what the answer is.
No, please don't. Please don't. It's funnier. No, honestly, it's funnier the longer this goes and nobody figures this out. For those who don't know, there is a missing episode of the Kongversation that very few people have heard. It's part of season 6. There are clues planted throughout season 6 where you can find this. The first person who legitimately finds it and ats DK Vine on Twitter with the information, with the directions to find it, they will get an autographed copy of the Sea of Thieves #1 comic book signed by the author, Jeremy Whiteley. So you're going to get a physical reward for this, but you're also going to give this gift of entertainment to the masses. And so the bragging rights alone would be worth it. But no, there's also a prize attached. So just keep that in mind. While we have this downtime between Kongversation seasons, which we have every year, you can find another episode to hold you over. You just have to do the legwork. So say that. Let's get into the predictions, Gibbon.
Sure. Let's do that.
Anyway, let's start with Playtonic. I want to build up to Donkey Kong because I feel like everybody wants to hear us talk about Donkey Kong and what we think will happen with Donkey Kong. Do we think the game is coming? And I want to make people wait for it. So
yep.
Let's
gonna keep people in suspense.
Let's start with Playtonic this year. And I'm just gonna call it. I'm gonna make a bold prediction. I don't like to make bold predictions, Gibbon, because I don't want to get people's hopes up. I don't care about being wrong personally, because I'm wrong all the time, and I feel like being wrong is healthy. It allows you to grow and become a better person, but I just don't want people to get mad or upset or disillusioned when predictions don't pan out.
Yeah. There's only so much you can do there.
Yeah, especially on an episode that is concocted around the basic premise of making predictions.
Yep.
But I'm calling this. I think it's in the cards. Playtonic will definitely announce one of their projects, if not release it, in 2022. And I expect an announcement probably around mid-year, maybe even E3 time.
Oh my.
Okay. I think everything...
As an addendum to Hyle's prediction, I'm going to predict that they announce a non-Yooka-Laylee related in-house title.
That's... Wow. Okay.
Well, maybe it'll be a spin-off, but it won't be starring Yooka and Laylee. And I'm not talking about like a Playtonic Friends title.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm predicting that they will begin following through on that promise.
I think Yooka-Laylee would appear in it, but
yeah. But it wouldn't be a Yooka-Laylee branded game.
I think that is entirely possible, and I think what we might even get 2 announcements, right? It'll be 3 years since Impossible Lair was announced.
Oh, shut your mouth.
And released. So, I mean, we've only passed the 2-year mark since its release. I'm talking about the whole year ahead, the expanse of 12 months.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think we'll definitely get at least the announcement for it. I don't know how far out they want to announce it before it's actually ready to be released, or else we enter that awful kind of purgatory of development.
I don't know how far out I'd want them to announce it. Just looking at the whole like Metroid Prime 4 situation.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
And you know, looking at Everwild over at Rare, but I think, you know, they've clearly been working on something since Impossible Lair got out the door. So it'll be 3 years, you know, this autumn since that happened, this coming autumn. So yeah, they're going to announce it. I am fully confident with all the news about Playtonic and Gavin Price's expansion plans and everything in motion right now.
Yeah,
I think it's happening, and will it be the purported Yooka-Laylee? Well, as we said, I think some news sites jumped the gun or misinterpreted that interview Gavin Price did. However, Nintendo Life did an article about it, and Playtonic retweeted the article about it, and then rescinded the retweet. So. If this wasn't happening at all, if there was no Yooka-Laylee 2, a new, you know, 3D platformer with Yooka-Laylee, I don't think they would have hit retweet on that even briefly.
Yeah.
So will it be that one? I think that's the big ticket item. I think they will announce it properly this year. I mean, I don't think that's controversial. I think that's just logic. Yeah. That's looking at everything that's transpired and saying, yeah, that's definitely what's happening. I feel like it's an open secret at this point. They're not saying it is, but it is.
Oh, man. So many open secrets floating around in the game sphere right now.
Right. I feel like we at DK Vine have our thumb on the pulse of everything that pertains to us, at least. And have for a while.
It's sometimes weird where you come across your information, but well, maybe not weird. I'm actually in the games industry, so maybe I just hear more of it than other people do.
And I am like in the walls of the games industry.
Yeah.
I have a Barca lounger in the crawl space, so I'm quite cozy.
It's probably nicer than my apartment.
That's going to be something to look forward to. I feel like at the very least we can count on Playtonic to deliver the goods, at least as far as news goes. I don't know if I expect it to come out this year. this coming year. But when I say this year, like, what do you think? Like, here on the East Coast, there's another 5 hours and 45 minutes or so of 2021. So no, I don't think.
So if the world ends in 2022, I've got a few more hours to just watch all of you die.
You think it's gonna? You think it would end like that, like a rolling apocalypse? Like,
I mean, Betty White died, so anything goes.
Yeah, it reminds me of back a Y2K when it was just like, oh yeah, the world will end at midnight. I was like, time zones are a thing, right? Like, it'll be
They're a thing, but they shouldn't be. We should abolish time zones.
Like, if the world ends in New Zealand first, it will end for you in 1999, assuming so. Anyway, Playtonic Friends. I think we'll get another batch of Playtonic Friends games revealed probably throughout the year.
Safe prediction.
I think, they revealed 3 new ones after the first 3 were gearing up for release. I think it'll be a similar kind of rollout strategy. I will make the prediction that Lil Gator Game will be DKU.
Ooh,
I think a Playtonic character will appear in it, similar to how Yooka-Laylee appeared in Demon Turf. So I think it's a natural fit. I think it's a natural fit for even more so than Demon Turf was. I think Lil Gator Game is just screaming for a character appearance. And honestly, I would love for that game to be DKU because I am enamored with everything I've seen of it.
It's adorable.
As I get older, I get less cynical and jaded. And so something that is
we're all thankful for that.
So something that is so completely and utterly wholesome, like Lil Gator Game, I think is the I probably said this before, it is the salve, the ointment for the searing wound of modern society.
So I don't have a prediction per se for Playtonic Friends beyond, there will be more of them. But during the build up to release, they were showing off Impossible Lair alongside Blasphemous a lot. And Blasphemous just ended its run of DLC and they announced that they are working on the sequel. So I'm kind of hoping that Blasphemous 2 will end up being a Playtonic's Friend game, just because I keep grouping Yooka-Laylee and Blasphemous in my head, and I'd like to keep that association going. So,
okay. I don't have any predictions because honestly, I don't know of any games before they get roped into the ecosystem that is DK.
I don't know what their criteria is. It seems pretty pick and mix, but I'm happy with the selection they've put forth so far.
I actually have been aware of some acquaintances of mine having meetings with Playtonic. And I can't say anything about that, but it's funny where you how small your world gets over time,
Yeah.
Anyway, I expect a lot of fun news coming out of Playtonic in 2022, especially as hopefully the pandemic kind of rescinds. I know Omicron is a thing. I know everybody's freaking out about it, but it seems like it is kind of the tapering down of the variants. Like they're getting less and less severe as immunity rises. And so if we can get back to some semblance of,
took 2.5 years.
Well, I mean, that's pretty good for a pandemic, a once in a century pandemic,
I'm tired of once in a century happenings happening like every other year.
I'll say this. I have grown accustomed to the face mask because it's like
I love the face mask.
It's like
great.
It's like my face is getting a hug constantly. And I haven't actually had a cold in 2 years. And
I've had a cold, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, wow. So this has actually kept me from getting the usual bugs that I usually have. So
I'm also on some other stuff that compromises my immune system a little bit. So.
Well, yes, then you need to stay extra safe there, Gibbon. You need to but I'm hopeful, we're getting back to some state of how the world used to be, and that will benefit game development, because it's been a struggle for the whole industry trying to work through the work from home situation, especially in the UK, where they have had much stricter lockdowns than here in the Americas. So
I wish they'd have really strict lockdowns here.
I mean, we could talk about that all night. And
we probably could, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, stay safe, everyone. But
yep.
Let's move on a little bit further out into the Midlands with Rare. So Rare, it's funny talking about what do you expect to see from Rare, because it doesn't mean the same thing it used to mean. It used to be like, oh, I hope we get a new Rare game announced, and since 2018. We've had a living Rare game, Sea of Thieves, that has had continual updates on a monthly basis. And it has kind of had the effect of, I'm not left wanting from Rare, because I get constant Rare content. And I know if you're not into Sea of Thieves, that means very little. That's a cold comfort. But for me, I'm good. I play Sea of Thieves religiously every week.
I mean, yeah. Beyond Sea of Thieves, it's not like we haven't had a steady string of Rare stuff coming out. There was, Killer Instinct and Battletoads, and we got Perfect Dark announced and other things announced, and we got Rare characters showing up in other things. So it hasn't been just Sea of Thieves and nothing else, but some people tell it that way.
Well, some people are dramatic, but it's a different ecosystem than it used to be when it comes to talking about Rare, because
that's just video games in general, though. You look at, I brought up Metroid Prime 4. We used to get a Metroid game a year back in the GameCube, more than a Metroid game a year back in the GameCube days. And we just had Dread this year, and it was the first Metroid game in over half a decade. It just takes longer to make.
Need I remind you that the Donkey Kong Country trilogy were annual releases over the span of 1994 to 1996, 2 years.
With the Game Boy games in between them and other stuff coming out from Rare as well.
Right.
And now stuff just takes longer to make. And games are bigger and have more resources, and
And that's why I love that Sea of Thieves is a modern living game, because an ongoing game, because it kind of helps bridge that divide where every month I've got new content coming into Sea of Thieves. And every season, significant new content. So every 3 months, you've got basically completely new game features that change the way you interact with the game and the world. And so I'm not left pulling out my hair that we haven't gotten Everwild, and we won't get it for a couple years, because like I said, I'm good. I'm easy peasy. And the older I get, the faster time speeds up. So the gulf of time between releases doesn't seem as significant as it would have been were I still a kid. So
yeah.
Anyway, Everwild. I expect no news on Everwild. I think.
Okay, continue.
No, I think that Everwild is clearly rebooting itself. And we're just too far out. It's I would say it's almost a Metroid Prime 4 situation, except we've seen a trailer or two for Everwild already.
I expect a little bit. We had a recent update in that they brought on a new, was it director or something?
Yeah.
And this looking at that person's CV, you can see that they were on Alien Isolation. And if you remember that one of the points of interest when Everwild lost a previous director was that there was some difficulties doing the design of the game without involving any combat in it. And one of the things Alien Isolation is praised for a lot is that it's a very cinematic stealth horror game that involves no actual combat. It's all non-combat interactions with enemies and environmental hazards and stuff. So the fact that they're bringing on someone from a game that's kind of lauded for that sort of thing makes me hopeful and sort of expectant that they're still trying to move in that direction. And so I maybe expect to see some news about maybe just a reassurance that they're still on track and they haven't rebooted fully. They're going to be moving in the direction they were going, but now they have a stronger hand on the wheel, sort of thing.
Yeah, and let's
maybe not early in the year, but later in the year or something. But
let's give credit where credit's due. It's Gary Napper. Very easy name for Rare fans to remember because same surname as the ghost from Mad Monster Mansion in Banjo-Kazooie. So Gary Napper is now design director of Everwild. We don't know. We're not sure if Greg Mayles is still working on the game or not, because Greg Mayles kind of came in, I think, over the summer to help kind of pull Everwild's feet out of the fire.
They are still sort of soft promoting it. Like the Bloom Deer was on this year's Christmas card. So like they haven't stopped kind of talking about it in the background, but
yeah,
they haven't had an update in a while.
Yeah, I think once they get a firm direction. I mean, it sounds similar to kind of Saberman Stampede. We just talked about Saberman Stampede on the last episode of the Kongversation with Cameron and Jeff, but Saberman Stampede's biggest problem was it just didn't have a firm direction. It had a good concept that didn't translate into gameplay. And I think, with Gary Napper coming on board, I think Everwild will hopefully find that and, make finally a lot of forward progress. But, in the meantime, I'm patient. I want it to be a good game. I don't want it rushed. And
exactly.
I'm sure Rare would like it out. I'm sure Rare would like to, not be spinning its wheels with the same game again and again. But that's the great thing. Sea of Thieves is a certified moneymaker for Rare and Xbox Studios, so they have that leeway to kind of experiment.
It's like the second most profitable Microsoft franchise right now.
It's like, who would have ever thought we would have been here?
Yeah.
Who would have ever thought that, Rare would be such big shots at Xbox Studios? I remember the years. Oh, my friend, I remember the years where we were just so angsty about Rare being owned by Microsoft, and if their games aren't appreciated, woe is us, woe is them, woe is everyone. And now it's just night and day. Wow.
Yeah, and now Disney's knocking on their door going, hey buddies. So like, you've heard prediction in 30 years, Rare will own Disney. No, it's not going to happen. God.
That's not going to happen. So let's jump ahead to Sea of Thieves before we get into anything else.
Okay.
Sea of Thieves, like I said, is humming right now, and they've definitely recovered from the early days of the pandemic, slowing down its progress. The season model has really allowed it to roll out some impressive features and push the narrative forward in a more timely fashion.
God has it.
So, this past year we saw finally the sirens and all that lore come into play. We're starting to get into the merfolk and everything like under the sea. But over the Yuletide holidays, there was this orb. It was actually the snow globe lantern you can get through the seasonal track rewards this season in Sea of Thieves, but they repurposed it as this kind of crystal ball. And I thought it was just going to be some sort of like Yule log thing where, this pleasant holiday thing you can put on the background while you're wrapping presents or baking cookies or whatever.
Mean, that's what it seemed to be.
Yeah.
I honestly wasn't paying attention to it for a while before someone in chat was like, hey, look at the stream.
Yeah. I watched it for about 30 seconds and I was like, okay, that's cute. I'm good. I have things to do. Bye. But apparently Rare used this to hint at some of the things coming forward in 2022 for Sea of Thieves. And I would just recommend checking out Golden Sands blog post because our friend Dre wrote up a great summary of everything in there and what it all means. And we can't do it justice on this episode, but I will touch upon a few of the things. So it seems like the Flameheart story, which has kind of been stationary since the tall tale that reintroduced Flameheart as a world event in the game. The big glowing, floating orange head in the sky, sending out ghost ships. There's been no forward momentum with the Flameheart story, but
I wouldn't say no forward momentum. We got a little bit of stuff in the Pirates of the Caribbean stuff, but it was more background elements. It wasn't in the forefront.
Right. The thing about Sea of Thieves is it's always juggling several plots at once, and sometimes they intersect and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they kind of bleed over in ways you don't immediately see. But the Flameheart story obviously took a backseat to the Pirates of the Caribbean crossover and the Dark Brethren and like different antagonists. But it seems like, so the Flameheart in the game is Flameheart Senior. And that's notable because when Flameheart was first introduced to us in the Tales from the Sea of Thieves book, it was Flameheart Jr. It was his son who became the Skelly Lord. And so the question is, where is Flameheart Jr., who was kind of this nebbish, kind of like aristocratic, stock character, and who wanted to be a fearsome pirate like his father, but ultimately, he just screwed up, and then he became afflicted with a Skelly curse. But according to the orb, Flameheart Jr. might be coming, and it might tie into what the Reaper's Bones have been up to. Which, they've got this mysterious trap door or hatch in the middle of their chamber, and there might be something cooking under there, and it might have something to do with Flameheart Jr. And but also we might see the introduction of Belle, a character
finally.
One of the earliest characters promised for the game.
Literally the first character I ever saw from the game.
There was a statue of her commissioned that made its debut at E3 2017. And she's yet to make an actual appearance in the game, but, those who watched the Orb stream saw the back of a character appear in the tavern who the hat and profile seemed very similar to Belle. So... Could be. I also predict the second novel by Chris Alcock will release late this coming year. So we know it's in the works. It hasn't been officially announced, but it's kind of an open secret. I liken it to back in 1998 when Donkey Kong 64 hadn't been officially announced, but Rare was openly talking about it on their website, and Nintendo was denying it. Nintendo's like, we have not announced any Donkey Kong game for the Nintendo 64. And then you go over to Rare's website, and Leah Loveday would be like, yeah, we're working on Donkey Kong. It's just same thing. The publisher hasn't officially announced it. There's no press release, but Rare has talked about it on streams. Chris Alcock, he's talked about it. It's happening. So I think it will, release later this year.
My crazy Sea of Thieves prediction is that during one of the down months or down seasons, they're going to bring back the Golden Bananas event, but migrate it in game.
It would be great just to get those sales that only one.
Obviously not got. Like these sales. You'd like it'd be a different color or something so that the people who won would still be easily identifiable. But yeah, like it'd be cool to get some of those banana sales.
It would be cool just to have the golden bananas as an in-game item again.
Yeah, that too.
Obviously for our sake, DKU's sake, but it would just be cool to have a different, collectible that does harken back legacy-wise and something that Rare could employ without, you can't copyright golden bananas, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would love, and this is just me wishing now, but I would love, obviously, we've said that Greg Mail sailing as Captain Black Eye counts as an appearance of Captain Black Eye, but I'm still holding out hope that Captain Black Eye will appear as an NPC in the game.
He's referred to by some NPCs in the game.
Yes.
He's kind of in charge of some of the storefronts.
Yeah,
in some capacity.
He has a shop owner, and it was explicitly referenced in the Tales book, but so far he has not actually appeared in game. He's not going to be this major antagonist in the game, like your Flamehearts or your even Davy Jones. He'll be more like a Pendragon figure, probably a more antagonistic Pendragon, a legacy.
Unless the captain is Captain Black Eye. But.
Well, maybe, yeah. But that would. Could you imagine if Black Eye really did he hasn't been in the game because he is going to be one of the ultimate big bads of the game. That would be shocking. But right now, I would just love if he would just make an appearance, just get it over with. We all want it. We're all desperate for it. But whatever. If it's another 5 years, it's another 5 years. All right, we are about 22 minutes out from New Year's in the UK.
We're not doing bad. We're hustling along.
We're trying. We're trying. I don't know how Dick Clark did it all those years. I really don't. Because I'm so verbose, and I'm sure Dick Clark wanted to talk about the oldies, the golden oldies, or whatever he'd like to talk about, but. You got to keep to the strict timetable when the clock's ticking.
Let's see. To hurry it up a little bit, let's see. Under Rare, what else? We Perfect Dark is out there.
Perfect Dark
development.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not being developed by Rare in the same way that they had oversight over Delala's Battletoads, but it's more hands off, but legacy Rare property.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think anything else will be announced this year from Rare or for a Rare IP?
There have been some rumblings about another Killer Instinct game, but I don't know how cogent they are. I don't know how much of that is hopeful wishes and how much of it is people gearing up. But I would not be surprised. It's about time for another Killer Instinct, the way modern fighting game release cycles go. So I can see that happening.
Here's some spoilers for the Kongversation Season 10. We are going to be relitigating a lot of games. Not a lot of games. A small, curated handful of games that we have not considered part of the DKU that we may...
Well, that Hyle hasn't considered part of
I am the word of God! Bow before me, Gibbon!
And I'm the one who runs your forums and one of the Discords.
All right. But... There are a handful of games that, and I'm not going to spoil any here, but Killer Instinct is one of them that I know the staff and others have said, hey, we really should take another look at this, and we haven't because life is hard and things come up. But I think we'll be eventually at some point this year we will take another look at Killer Instinct, the most recent Killer Instinct. and determine whether or not it's DKU for a very stupid reason. But I mean, is it any more stupid than Mr. Pants appearing on Boggy's TV? Is it any more stupid than a goldfish and then the goldfish again and then the goldfish again? So anyway, yeah, Killer Instinct is a game that is, DKU adjacent right now. The new Killer Instinct may be ushered into the full canon, according to DK Vine, at some point. But do you think, spitballing really here, like real quick, so Rash from Battletoads appeared in the last Killer Instinct. Do you think any other Rare characters would appear as guest characters in this Killer Instinct?
Hard to say. I could definitely see it happening. I could see like the Battletoads or someone else showing up again, but I could also see something along the lines of Saberwolf, who's obviously like a grittier sort of Mortal Kombat-ified version of Saberwolf from the Saberman games. I could see some other Rare character getting that treatment as well. I don't know who doing I don't know, like just a bear that is in a fighter is more of a Tekken thing. But I don't know, maybe that sort of thing could happen.
You're saying Banjo-Kazooie in Killer Instinct.
That was just my throwaway example. I don't actually think that'll happen, but it'd be hilarious if it did. Anyone who's listening to this show. So that's my outside the box. That's so insane it might work. Kind of like, could you imagine like, we've all seen the mock-ups of like realistic Banjo-Kazooie. Could you imagine if they actually did it? Set it apart from Smash, where, Smash has a very faithful Banjo-Kazooie, but you have just like the almost like a rabid bear and this like weird bird creature and it's in this like backpack, like a gritty Banjo-Kazooie depiction would be kind of hilarious. Story of something like, somebody got cursed by a witch and now they're a rabid bear.
No story. It's just
no story. No, just a rabid bear. Okay.
Maybe something that could walk the line, make it work in Killer Instinct canon, while also allowing Banjo fans to say, hey, this is the real Banjo-Kazooie. I'm sure there's a clever way to do it, but I think we would see somebody from Sea of Thieves for sure. Gold Hoarder, maybe, or...
You're right. Sea of Thieves is probably much more likely.
I mean, especially when you bring in Spinal, who is a Skelly, who is a pirate skeleton. You could do a lot of fun things, crossovers with that. So yeah,
and that's just playable characters. That's not to mention like background characters and stages and stuff. So.
Oh yeah, it would be fun. Oh yeah, just the Sea of Thieves stage alone. Like imagining like it enters the Devil's Shroud and the ship starts sinking. Now it just sounds like a Smash Brothers stage, a really annoying one that you never want to play in unless it's Omega mode.
Okay, we got 15 minutes. Okay. Donkey Kong?
Well, let's we've got about 15 minutes and 45 seconds until the new year in Rare and Playtonic land. So let's talk about Donkey Kong.
Okay.
No. So hoo boy. I don't know.
I don't know either.
So, look, the game is coming. I can't say this in any new words, in any new permutations of the phraseology of, yes, the new Donkey Kong game is in the works. I don't know when it's coming. I have not had an update on it. Since that initial like
same, I haven't heard anything from my sources either.
Yeah, but you agree with me, Gibbon? It's coming.
Yep.
We like our sources are not the same.
They are not
on this. No. So independently, we were both tipped off about this, and we've kind of compared notes. Obviously, I've talked about it openly, so that's me comparing notes. But we know it's coming. But when I refuse to predict this one because
Yeah.
I lived through last E3. I don't want to sit here because I hear people setting all of these goalposts, right? Like if it's not announced here, then it doesn't exist. Well, that's not the way it works. It's just
the news clip is going to be Hyle going, "The game is coming," and they're going to say is this is from a 2021 predictions episode. Anyway,
it all just depends on Nintendo's release schedule, how far along the game actually is, if they think it's a suitable time to release it in comparison to everything else.
That's true. Nintendo's been, I wouldn't say cagey. They've been spreading out their releases a bit as the pandemic is ongoing.
Yeah.
So
look, they've got big plans for Donkey Kong. You just go back, listen to like all those episodes from this past season where I've gotten into the details that I know and that I can talk about. But there has always been something in the works for Donkey Kong since 1993. Okay. Sometimes those projects don't pan out. Sometimes they become something else, but Donkey Kong has been taken care of since 1993. And it continues today. I know it's been a long downtime since Tropical Freeze on the Wii U, but that's why we had all these stopgaps in between. That's why we had, Tropical Freeze for Switch, where we had Donkey Kong Adventure,
Skylanders, other things.
So it would be great if it was this year. It would be great if it was at least announced this year. But the way Nintendo operates, they're not going to pull a Metroid Prime 4 on this, especially if it is if this is being developed in-house, EPD. Then no, they're not going to go that far out.
Anything till earlier than 3 months out at this rate.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get the full rollout for it, and then we're gonna be in full on Donkey Kong Mania, no stopping. It's just going to be bam. This is what Nintendo's all about until its release. So I would love if it was this E3 or if it was some random ass Nintendo Direct that we weren't expecting, but when it comes, it's going to come, and we're all going to be ecstatic. But all we can do in the meantime is take solace in the fact that it is in the works. And oh my God, look at everything else in the works for Donkey Kong 2.
Yeah, basically.
We will probably get clearer looks at Donkey Kong Country at Super Nintendo World as the year goes on and it continues to be constructed. I mean.
Yeah.
Every few weeks, it seems like we're getting new photographs of people getting distant bird's eye views of they're starting to build the minecart coaster, and you can see the shape being formed, and it's pretty much spot on so far with the diorama that we've all seen.
Yeah, that's exciting.
That Dustin emulated so faithfully in this year's DK Vine holiday card.
Ooh, yes,
so
excellent card.
Yeah, so I mean, I think this weird kind of limbo state for Donkey Kong fans, it's one thing to know all this is coming, and then it's another for it to actually come. When this theme park hits, when this full on expansion pack of Super Nintendo World. It's been announced officially now, so it's not like it's this open secret anymore. But when we actually get to the point where we're getting up to the grand unveiling, it's going to feel surreal when it actually happens. I
can't wait to try to get my hands on Donkey Kong theme park merch somehow.
Oh my God. I know it's coming here to the States. Not that I really want to risk going to a theme park right now, but hopefully by the time it opens, everything is sorted out. But
fingers crossed.
The merch alone, oh my God, the merch being sold at Funky's Flying By, could you imagine what they're gonna sell there?
I can't there's probably going to be the standard stuff like, you know, t-shirts and plushes and whatnot, but who knows what else there'll be. Like, I was just watching like the Jenny Nicholson video about the Avatar area of the Disney park the other day, and just all of the weird batshit crazy merch they have there, and just thinking about like, oh man, now imagine all of this but Donkey Kong theme.
I was laughing hysterically just because Dre in the chat just said,
damn it, Dre.
Weed.
Fuck that. I'm so tired. And that segues nicely into our next topic.
Oh, yes. By the way, I have not heard from Seth Rogen's representation yet. So,
well, he'll come around, I'm sure. It'll be fine.
I don't know, because people like Seth Rogen have people that keep you from getting to Seth Rogen. So,
I mean, he also just has a Twitter. Have you added him?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, okay.
But it's one of those things where I feel like I need to make a donkey bong to get his attention.
I'll be so disappointed in you, but I'll understand. There's a movie coming out. It's about Mario, but Donkey Kong and Cranky and some others are in it.
I think that this is going to be what the end of the year is about, isn't it? A year's time from now, I think we'll have a greater indication of what the Donkey Kong movie plans are looking like. Around,
right, I forgot that there were rumors about an independent movie. Yeah,
it's happening. It's I mean, unless
this is what it takes to get Donkey Kong mainstream again.
Unless the Mario movie completely bombs and somehow loses millions of dollars.
Like, I can't actually imagine a situation where it does.
I mean, even in these weird times where movie theaters are kind of floundering, unless you're a Spinnerman and, movies aren't making bank like they normally would, but there's still an investment because everybody needs content for the streaming services. And so I think the bar has kind of been lowered as far as what movies need to clear to have sequels invested. So I think that will actually bode well for however this movie performs, assuming, everything isn't completely back to normal by the end of 2022. So I think there's going to be some sort of end credits stinger for the Donkey Kong movie to set it up. I don't have necessarily inside information there, but
I miss when that was a rare occurrence. There used to be, I don't know if they still publish these. There's just kind of a big guidebook to movie trivia that they'd put out each year, updated because movies come out continually. And the sort of what is now referred to as a post-credit stinger used to be called the Monk's Reward, and you used to be able to just look up a list of all the movies that had that because it was such an infrequent occurrence. And now Pirates of the Caribbean and Marvel and just Disney has ruined that.
I blame Ferris Bueller. Look, it's fun.
I get that reference.
I am not so cynical that I'm going to sit here and wring my hands about the MCU, and it's fun. It's fun, and I admire what they've been able to pull off with it. And
yeah, sure. I'm getting a little tired of it. I'll probably sit down in a year or two and I don't know, binge the last half dozen films and get caught up or something.
Dude, Hawkeye.
But for now, I'm content to just sit on the sidelines and listen to other people talk about it.
Hawkeye, I loved Hawkeye. I thought it was not as ambitious as WandaVision, but it completely stuck the landing, and it was just a lovely little character piece.
I'm gonna be honest. I only watched WandaVision for the X-Men fake out that I'm still salty about.
Oh, it was great. They made a boner joke. All right. Look, we're not going to sit here in the last 5 minutes of the UK's 2021 and argue about the MCU.
Right.
Especially because I haven't seen Spider-Man yet, and I'm trying to stay away from spoilers, which is almost impossible.
What are we talking about? Super Mario movie, right?
Yes.
So, in light of the Super Mario movie, I don't know, anything else surrounding that?
Yeah, I'm going to make a prediction.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to predict that Cranky Kong will join Mario Kart Tour alongside Four-Man Spike at the end of the year to tie into the Mario movie.
You know, I'd honestly be more surprised if that doesn't happen.
Look, the Mario Kart Tour, they continually need to churn out content for it, new characters, and they're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel because it's like, let's make another cat character. So now we have Meowser. I'm not making that up for those who don't play. Meowser.
Do we have Meowky Kong yet?
So no, there are no actual Donkey Kong variants aside from Donkey Kong Jr., arguably. And because everybody got on your case for that, Gibbon, and I don't want to...
Well, they're all still wrong.
I agree with you, but it's a weird element of like the younger Donkey Kong fans, like who have come up like 10 to 15 years after DK Vine was already a thing, where they are adamant that Donkey Kong Jr. is the current Donkey Kong's father and not an adult Donkey Kong Jr. And I'm just like...
well, something youth these days. Anyway.
Okay, Cranky.
Wrinkly.
Yes. Well, sorry. I was...
No, wait. I'm not dead yet.
Yeah. You're not like Betty White. You're thriving.
Let's see.
And also, Wrinkly is not cranky, so like she is not. She is.
That's true.
I was just making a comment about your nature.
This is fair.
Your temperament.
Okay. Let's see. Do I have any predictions? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that we will get another Tide People Over title. Maybe not Donkey Kong and something else. Although I could see Donkey Kong getting tossed into Mario and Rabbids 2. In some capacity, but this time I'm gonna say we're gonna get maybe like a Captain Toad Treasure Tracker sized spin-off to tide people over until the big main game is either announced or comes out.
I would love to see it. But oh my god, if that happened, then everybody's gonna say that's the new Donkey Kong game, and then they're gonna set themselves on fire.
And then we would be rid of them. So, win-win.
I don't want people burned alive. I'm sorry. That's where I depart with you. I don't want to see life as a Rage Against the Machine album cover.
But Raging Against the Machine is kind of the entire plot of the DK series.
All right. Like,
okay.
So I don't know if we'll see that. It's great. I don't think we'll see Donkey Kong variants in Mario Kart Tour because I think they have been very careful not to have like Cat Diddy Kong or anything because I think there are actually internal rules about this. And with Donkey Kong having a dedicated team now, they can use characters like that have this historical tie to Mario, but they can't deviate from them too much. And that's why we haven't seen all of the crazy Donkey Kong variants. That's my theory.
I want to see Skylanders suit Donkey Kong in Tour.
That would be amazing. I don't think it's going to happen. We are coming up on 33 seconds till New Year's in the UK. Dre, I know you are in the UK, so this will be for you at least. Obviously, when this goes up on the podcast streams and YouTube and SoundCloud, it will be past the new year. But all right, we're coming up. All right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year 2022 for the UK. Yeah. All right. You want to sing the song?
Which song and what are we singing?
Should old game characters be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old game characters be forgot? You should read DKVine.com. So, my New Year's resolution is to sing more in tune.
This has been a File 2 production.
¡Qué rico!